Wide. Amid the Trump administration's immigration crackdown, crowds gathering in cities across the country, including New York, Columbus, Dallas, LA, and Minneapolis, where the fatal shooting of a woman by an ICE agent kicked off a nationwide response. The officer who killed 37-year-old mother of three, Renee Good, now identified as Jonathan Ross. DHS telling NBC News Ross was seriously injured in a traffic stop here 6 months ago when he tried to arrest an undocumented convicted sex offender who dragged Ross 50 yards with his car. 6 months later, this fateful moment. Police say Good was blocking the road with her SUV. You can see officers approach, Ross stepping in front of it. Good reverses before accelerating forward while turning. That's when authorities say Ross fired multiple shots.
Hi, this is Sinandi. Welcome to African Viewpoint. There is something happening in American politics today that goes beyond disagreement, beyond policy, debates, and even beyond party loyalty. It's something deeper, something more deeper, emotional, and frankly, something more dangerous. It is. And that thing is the obsessive hatred for one man, just for one man, Donald J. Trump. This isn't about whether you like Trump's personality. It isn't about mean tweets or sharp rhetorics. What we are witnessing is a political culture so consumed with stopping Trump at all costs that it has lost that it has lost its moral compass entirely. A culture where defeating one man, Donald J. Trump, has become more important than protecting citizens. Enforcing the law or even standing up for human life, so long as those lives don't fit the right political narrative. The question we should all be now asking is simple. How did opposition now turn into obsession? From the moment Trump entered politics, he disrupted a system that had grown comfortable with itself. Oh, yes. He challenged open borders, exposed foreign policy hypocrisy, and refused to play by the unspoken rules of Washington. And for that, he was targeted. He wasn't just opposed, he was targeted relentlessly. Over time, something strange began to happen, something very sinister. The standard for judgment quietly shifted. No longer was the question, is this right or wrong? Instead, it became, does this help Trump succeed? And if the answer was yes, then it had to be destroyed, no matter the cost. That's how we arrived at a place where violent, illegal immigrants are defended, criminal behavior is rationalized, are being given excuses for, and foreign dictators like Nicolas Maduro are treated with kid gloves, not because they deserve sympathy, but because Trump opposes them. Logic takes a backseat, unfortunately. Principles are abandoned, and reality is rewritten. You see it in the way law enforcement is treated. When Trump talks about border security or deporting violent criminals, the left doesn't debate the effectiveness of the policy. They attack the person, they attack the concept itself. ICE becomes the villain, federal agents become fascists, criminals are suddenly rebranded as the victims. And this isn't compassion, it's political weaponization. We have seen this play out before. In 2020, after the tragic death of George Floyd, a moment that should have united the country in grief and reflection was hijacked by political radicals. You can still remember what happened. And what followed wasn't justice, it was chaos. Cities burned, businesses were destroyed, innocent people were hurt, entire neighborhoods were left in ruins. And what was the response from the left and the democratic leaders and the left wing activists? Of course, excuses, justifications, silence when accountability was needed. When accountability was needed the most, the message was unmistakable. If the distortion helps hurt Trump, it will be tolerated. They will be okay with it. They will be all right by it. And when people learn they can act without consequences, without accountability, without being held responsible, they don't stop, they escalate. So, fast forward to today, and the pattern is even clearer. The same voices, the same very voice who once claimed to care deeply about Palestine, human rights, and oppressed people around the world now turn a blind eye to what is happening in Iran. Can you reconcile that? Iranian citizens are being beaten, imprisoned, and killed by their own government. Thousands and thousands have suffered, and yet no outrage. From the left, no mass protests, no viral campaigns. Why? Because condemning Iran doesn't hurt Trump. Outrage, outrage, it seems, has become selective. Human rights only matter when they are politically convenient. Instead, the energy is redirected inward toward opposing eyes, obstructing federal agents, as you see happening all across the United States today, and disrupting law and order inside the United States. Not to protect victims, not to promote peace, but to make sure Trump's agenda fails and doesn't succeed. No matter the collateral damage, this is done no matter the collateral damage. What's even more disturbing is that this obsession is now putting their own supporters in danger, encouraging them and encouraging people to block federal agents, interfere with lawful arrests, and physically confront armed officers. It's not activism, it's recklessness, it's reckless endangerment. And when these confrontations turn tragic, the same political voices that fuel the chaos disappear, leaving ordinary people to face the consequences. That's not leadership, that's exploitation. And because no real accountability followed the riots of 2020, this behavior has only grown bolder. You can see it happening in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, and all across the other cities in the United States. When people get away with chaos, they don't suddenly become peaceful. They push further, from protests to riots, from riots to direct interference with law enforcement. Each step justified, excused, and normalized. This is no longer about Trump. This is about whether America still believes in law, order, and moral consistency. It's about whether a society can survive when hatred for one man outweighs concern for truth, safety, and human life. You can oppose a president without abandoning your principles. It's possible. That's democracy. But when opposition becomes so extreme that it excuses criminality, defends dictators, and ignores real suffering, all to score political points, something has gone very wrong. At some point, Americans must ask themselves a hard question. What are we willing to sacrifice just to win politically? Because if the answer includes law, order, and basic law, order, and basic moral clarity, then the price is far too high. So, if you believe politics has gone too far, if you think accountability should apply to everyone, not just political opponents, and if you are tired of selective outrage and manufactured chaos, then support this channel, support this conversation, like this video so more people may see it. Subscribe if you want honest commentary without fear or filters. And share it, please, because these are conversations the mainstream media won't let you see or have. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk openly, respectfully, of course, and honestly, because the future of your country, America, depends on people willing to tell the truth, even when it's very, very uncomfortable. Of course, truth has always been uncomfortable. With that being said, thank you for watching and see you in the next one and stay out of trouble. God bless you. Bye bye.